This is John Paul Wright. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. This here is day 2 of the Johnny Depp trial, and once again, Johnny Depp's sister is on the stand, and Amber Heard's lawyer is saying that she actually got a mail from Johnny's doctor that he had anger issues or something like that. But the thing about emails is I get like dozens a day, and most of them get buried, or at least half of them. So even if she got a mail, that doesn't necessarily mean that she read it or even saw it. So it's kind of flimsy evidence.
Did you ever have reason to believe from someone other than Amber that Mr. Depp romanticized drug culture?
No,
Did you ever have reason to believe from someone other than Amber that Mr. Depp could act like a child if he didn't get immediate satisfaction?
So she gets asked these questions like 3 or 4 times or something. Then they pull out the email and they say, hey, you did have a reason to believe that Johnny gets angry. But as I went over, there's no way to know if she ever saw it or read it or anything like that, especially since it's, what, going on 9 years, something like that now? Amber Heard is kind of wearing an interesting suit there. Kind of looks a little masculine. I don't know, just a little observation. And she pretty much said that she had some contact with her brother, but not a lot of contact with her brother. So I'm not sure why the judge keeps letting him ask the same thing over and over. I guess one time he's allowed certain things because he's trying to build his case. However, by like the fifth time, you'd think that, like the judge said at one point, let's just move on. And now he's going to present a text back and forth, supposedly between Amber and Johnny's sister.
One, it's her text about what she wanted for her brother. We'll get to those on page 2. I'm allowed to ask her about her own words and what her feelings sort
You
of
can
wrote.
ask her about it, but it's not coming into evidence.
Okay, well, okay.
Okay.
Okay, now I guess when you're on the stand, you can't think of everything, but here's what I would have said. Well, people sometimes reach out to each other and they talk. They are, in fact, connected to Johnny Depp, who is her brother. So, how many times have you, just been going through your day and you figured it's been too long since I talked to this person? Even if you don't really want to, you still keep people who are relevant in your life to other people in the loop, so to speak. So, you could say, I just randomly reached out to her, and that probably wouldn't be a lie. I've had some issues with people in my family. I'm not going to mention names or anything, but the thing is, I've sometimes reached out to them to try to feel things out, see if there was going to be a change in the relationship, see where they're at, just kind of a monitoring thing. It's not like every time you reach out to somebody, there has to be some underlining purpose.
And I believe you testified earlier that you didn't actually have concerns about your brother's dependence on drugs, right?
no, I said that I did have about the medication.
Just the pain pills.
It was the pain pills.
Nothing else?
I didn't have concern.
So once again, painkillers, and I've got a lot of experience with people addicted to painkillers, including 2 deaths in my family, which I won't get into either. But I'll tell you something, they do not make you violent at all. Okay? What they do is usually put you in kind of a sleepy mood, kind of like you're mumbling and kind of drugged up and you're kind of in a dreamy state, like the people that I know who are heavily addicted to painkillers and, like I said, actually died of painkillers, were not violent at all. They got angry, but not violent, just kind of frustrated sometimes. But that wasn't when they were on the painkillers. When you're on painkillers, you're just kind of like out of it. You're a zombie, you're sleepy, then you just pass out and go to sleep, basically. So I'm not sure exactly what this conversation's about, if he's trying to prove that Johnny's sister was concerned that Johnny was on painkillers. And, if so, that's more of a thing to help him. Because, like I said, ODs are pretty common with painkillers. So it wouldn't really be about Amber. Eh. like Johnny's team said in the beginning, they're trying to make this whole dramatic thing about the drugs, but here we are off in the woods on a topic that doesn't really have to do with the abuse. To be fair, I guess they have to build up to that, but the point is, we're still kind of off track here, and no matter how far down this road we go, we can't quite get to abuse with painkillers, in my opinion. And like I said, my opinion's pretty damn good, because, you know, I've had some pretty serious experience with it.
It's helped with Dr. Kipper, I believe.
You were referring to getting your brother help for his drug addictions, correct?
I was referring to getting him help with the medication that he was on.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like they're trying to make a whole big deal about painkillers where they can't really lead to any road except you getting kind of sleepy and kind of out of it. Like your muscles are kind of relaxed and you're just not quite there in reality. Okay, so now he starts leading into the fact that Johnny was, I guess, kind of messed up on medication, and he's going to hint towards the fact that on movie sets that might have happened. But the one question, no matter what they prove about Johnny's performance on movies, is you have to ask yourself, if Amber Heard never wrote that op-ed, where would Johnny's career be? And if Johnny did even, F up on some movie sets, that's not a reason to actually not hire him for the next movie. That's not a reason to actually cancel him. That's just, rumors get around and maybe he's a little, crazy on set or whatever sometimes, even if that's true. But if you get my drift, that's not like a full cancellation thing where the whole culture is like, who is this guy now? Is he an abuser? This kind of thing. It's really the abuser tag that was the whole, drag down and not any kind of performance behind the scenes, I guess you could say, or while filming. So, of course, he also brings up the lateness on movie sets, how Johnny was late. And what I refer to and what I know about, and I'm sure there's a lot of examples of this out there, is Spin City with Michael J. Fox. As you guys know, Michael J. Fox had Parkinson's disease, but he didn't tell anyone for quite a while. And when he was working on Spin City, when the show was doing very well, he was, getting pretty bad physically and having some pretty bad symptoms. And what that meant was it caused him to be late. It also caused him not to come out on set in the middle of shooting. And what happened? They said, well, he's Michael J. Fox. He's the big star. I guess he's got the attitude. We have to deal with it. We don't like it, but we have to deal with it. Who knows? Maybe he's a little, funky backstage, having something to drink or whatever the hell it is. But the point is, it's not like you have these big name movie stars and something like tardiness is some big deal. So, I don't know, man. It just seems like the whole thing isn't connecting. I get what they're saying. They're saying that, okay, he was this irresponsible guy and he was fired because of this irresponsibility on the set and drug use and not because of the op-ed. That's going to be their bottom line. But the point is, it just doesn't seem like when I think about that Spin City situation that Johnny could have really effed up bad enough for Disney and Warner Bros. To get rid of him totally. I think it takes a lot more than that for them to do that to such a high level star. Also, as a lot of you guys might have noticed, Ben Chu keeps interrupting with hearsay all the time, and I'm not the biggest legal guy, obviously. However, I was thinking, can he really do that? Is he getting irritating? Is he just trying to throw a wrench in the plans? But then Judge Penny says, well, Ben Chu was actually right. It's too much hearsay. And what she says is, you're trying to lay out the foundation of your argument on hearsay, which is a lot of what's been happening with Amber Heard over the years with hearsay and not any tangible, actual evidence. So the guy's doing an okay job of drilling Johnny's sister about the drug use. She probably did know about his drug use a little more than she's coming off, but it doesn't matter. It's just not actually connected. It was about painkillers and about that specific medication. And you know what? The people I knew on painkillers did a lot of freaking drugs, but I wasn't concerned about that. It was the painkillers. If they're doing some use your imagination, that's just to get kind of messed up and watch TV and eat Doritos or whatever the hell it is. But the painkillers are the real thing that's the problem. So if my family was going to the doctor for painkillers, yes, I'd be happy, but I wouldn't be like, so what about those other drugs they're doing too? Doesn't make sense to me. So basically, in the end here, to me, it looks like Amber's lawyer's going around in circles quite a bit about what the judge said is hearsay. Again, they've got some text messages, they've got some emails, but what was presented to us doesn't look like full context. From day one was definitely nowhere near context at all, let alone full context. So if I was on the jury, I'd be a little bit confused by this. I'd be a little bit flustered by it. Like, okay, what exactly was the point of that? Aside from trying to say that Johnny, maybe in a roundabout way, was having problems before the op ed because of lateness. But again, lateness just doesn't seem like such a big deal on that level of stardom. Anyway, that's about it for this witness here. I'm going to go one at a time. You guys, let me know what you think down below about Johnny's sister. To be totally honest, I wish she spoke with a bit more conviction, and I think she could have, given a better explanation of why she did or didn't do certain things. For example, for the question about contacting Amber, I wish she just said, well, I just contacted Amber. She's a family member at the time, and I was reaching out to see if there was a change in the situation or something else. It's a normal thing. So what? I think she could have had a little bit more of that attitude, but all right, time will tell what happens. I'm no expert. It seems like, in the end, Ben Chu got a lot of his objections sustained, or I should say sustained. You know what I mean? The judge kind of shot down a lot of his objections, but also agreed with him overall at the same time. Okay, if you're not subscribed here, consider it. I'm doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that. That first heard, pop culture, celebrity news. If you don't subscribe, I guess I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. We're done here for now. More tomorrow. See you next time.